Hi, kindergarten parents. This is Annette Bund. I wanted to share the schedule for next week with you and kind of explain how it works. I apologize for not doing this before. I think this will help clarify some of the confusion. So I've actually made this week's schedule in two different formats. This is a format where everything's all on one page. I personally think this is very overwhelming, but I do know that some people prefer this way where everything's on one page. So I created this. And as we are adding more live teaching, there are more links to click on. So I also last week I had kind of morning meeting just as one whole line, and I kind of made it this week so that you can read each day down in a column. So you would start at the top and you would go straight down to the bottom. So your morning meeting link is going to be right there. You just have to click on it and go. I know some people have been having issues with getting onto Zoom on their phones. The links aren't matching up. They're not working. They're asking for a passcode when you shouldn't need a passcode because all of the links here are our personal meeting codes. So we're the only ones that have these codes. They're made specifically for us. So you should not need a passcode. If you're having trouble because you cannot open the schedule on your child's device, whether it's an iPad or a Chromebook, then we're going to have to talk about you giving me your child's email address, and then I can directly email the schedule to them. I would still communicate with you through your own email, but the schedule would be on their device, and then they can just click on it, and it should be something that they'll begin to be able to do independently in the future. So for Monday, you'd click on the morning meeting and attend that. 10 to 10:30, half of my class will be with me, half of my class will be Mrs. Campanero, and then we'll switch towards the end of the week, so we'll get to see all kids. Starting this week, we are also going to start small groups. So you'll see all these different color bees: red bees, yellow bees, orange bees, green bees. I know you probably think I'm crazy for all these different kinds of bees, but I promise that it will get a lot easier as we continue. What I ask that you do is put somewhere on the wall or somewhere in your child's workspace, whether they are a bumblebee or a honeybee, maybe just make a little sign for both of you, and also write down the color group that they're in. So we did make it so that when we start to add math groups, that starts Thursday, that the colors remain the same. So if your child is a red bee for reading, they will also be a red bee for math, so that you don't have to remember all different colors. That would be too confusing. So during this time, if your child is a red bee, they would click on the red bee link. If they're a yellow bee, they would click on the yellow bee link. And don't worry, I will show you where to find which color bee your child is. If your child's reading group is not listed here, so let's say your child is a green bee, they would be working on Seesaw during this time, if that works for your family. I want to repeat that all of the asynchronous activities, all the activities on Seesaw, those are flexible. You can do those early in the morning. You can do those whenever your child has a break. You can do those in the evening. You can save them one day and do them the next if you really want to, though I won't recommend doing that too many days. You don't want it to pile up. But that's supposed to be more flexible for you. So you can do family time and doctor's appointments and things like that throughout your day. So then we'll have another set of small groups. Again, orange and green bees, the links are right here. And then the rest of the kids will be on Seesaw. Lunchtime will be the same every day, lunch and free time. I do ask that you try to have your child eat during that time if possible. It is distracting when they're eating during learning times. Mostly it's distracting to themselves, not necessarily to me or not to the other kids, but to themselves. So it would be really helpful if they could eat during that time or after a synchronous live teaching time. Math on Monday and Tuesday will still be split between bumblebees and honeybees. The links are right here. And then they'll be doing Seesaw in the afternoon. So Tuesday is very much the same, just different reading groups. Wednesday is always a little bit different. We'll do morning meeting. like to talk about Positivity Project with the whole group here. So everybody will click on this link. We will still carry on small groups, still obviously have lunchtime. And then math will be for all kids. And in the afternoon, they can play math games on FunBrain. I shared some of the games today with half of the class, and I'll share the other with the other half of the class Monday and Tuesday. This is a really fun website. Thursday, same thing in the morning, except, in the afternoon it changes. We will start our math groups. This is where you'll start to see some differentiation of instruction. We'll be able to really meet your child's needs where they're at, extend activities, slow activities down, and really meet them at their level. So you'll see, sometimes there'll be 3 groups, sometimes there'll be 2 groups, all depending on availability. There's 3 different links because there's 3 different teachers for this time. So you'll be seeing myself, Mrs. Campanero, and Mrs. Michaels. And you'll just click on whatever link that matches your child's color group, and they'll go there. And the great thing about these, since we have 3 teachers helping out here, each child will be seen every day by somebody. That's really nice. So for this 1:05 to 1:30 time, these 3 groups will be seen. If it works for your family, your child can work on seesaw activities during that time, and vice versa. We won't be assigning too many math seesaw activities because, these 3 groups will be working with a teacher during this time. And then at the next time slot, they won't be working with a teacher, but they're not going to have a ton of time to work on seesaw activities. So we're not going to overload them. And then you can see Friday. So like I said, some people were really requesting more of like a one-stop shop, something that they could look at in just one quick glance. I knew that as we added reading groups and math groups in there, that it would be overwhelming, but I still think some people will appreciate this format better. So this is going to go to all families. What is also going to go to all families is a daily schedule in case that's what you prefer. So I'm going to scroll down. So here is Monday, and you would do this kind of like a game board. You would start here and travel to the arrows until the end, and that's the end of your day. So up here, you'll notice I have a link. Is my child a bumblebee or a honeybee? You would click here. It will take you right to my website where it has the cohorts listed with your children's first names only for privacy. And you can look it up in case you forget, although it will be something that everyone will start to remember. And then which reading or math group is my child in? By the time this is sent out to you, this will also be highlighted, and you'll be able to click on that and find out which color B they are for reading and math. And remember, whatever color reading group they're in, it's the same color math group. So if they're a blue B for reading, they're a blue B for math. So this is the same schedule, it's just broken down by day. So there's the morning meeting link. There's the links for myself or Mrs. Campanero's meetings. Then there's the reading groups, and it says if your reading group isn't listed above, please work on seesaw activities. Again, if that's a time that works for your family. There's your lunchtime. Here's math, bumblebees and honeybees, and then seesaw and special areas. Tuesdays look very similar. And then Wednesdays, again, it's a little bit of a different layout, different format. So we were doing math whole group and no math groups this afternoon. It's more asynchronous time for you. And then Thursdays is when we'll start those math groups. So again, you'll see it's a little more full, but it's kind of a nice little path that you can follow, and all the links will be in there. I also wanted to point out that all of my links are the same. So we do morning meeting together. That's my link. The bumblebee or the honeybees link here is my link. The red bees, the orange bees. I kept my link all the same. So if for some reason you're supposed to be in a meeting with me and the link isn't working, hopefully that won't happen. But if that happens, you can always go back to another meeting that you had with me, and it will take you back to the same place. It's the same code for all of them. Same thing goes for Mrs. Campanero and Mrs. Michaels. And then there's Friday. So again, I know that some people would prefer the all-in-one, one-stop shop, one page links, and some people would prefer this more mapped out day. And it's totally up to you which one you use. They're all the same, but I thought I would give the option for you to use both. Thank you so much for sticking with us with all of the technology glitches and with all the links. I know it's so overwhelming, and it's especially overwhelming for kindergarten parents because their children just lack the independence right now. And I do think that's going to get better. It's amazing what kindergartners can do. I'm always amazed with what they can do. Even after teaching for 17 years, they still amaze me. So just kudos to you. You're all working so hard for your kids, and I'm really, really enjoying them. And I think based on how it's already gone, this is just going to be such a great year. So thank you again. I hope this helps, and I'll see all your faces on Zoom soon.